So we're at the Oklahoma Contemporary Arts Center to check out the Open World Art Exhibit. It's basically an exhibit that kind of focuses on pop culture, politics, and video games. There's over 70 of them. Let's go inside and see what they've got in store for us. The outside of this building is really cool. It looks like a big steel frame building, but it's really reflective. So my guess is, depending upon where the sun is, this building looks different all day long. So the exhibit here is actually going to be up on the second floor, so let's grab an elevator ride and go check it out. Whoa, it's pink. It's very pink in here. So this series is called Detonations, and essentially the artist behind these really was just amazed at how realistic war video games were getting. And so he used Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare and Battlefield 2 and pulled some digital composite images out of that to create these prints. So this isn't photography, these are actually from video games, but they look super realistic. Check this one out. It's amazing. There's so many different elements to this exhibit, from sculptures to paintings to tile work to photography, more paintings on canvas over here, even video elements. I mean, this is pretty amazing. So one of my favorite things in this art gallery is all the inspiration they drew from the video game Grand Theft Auto. This artist actually set up a tripod camera that used actual film as she was watching her brother play the game, and she just loved all the colors that came from it. So this is called Morning, Firelight, and Pulse, and they came from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And these are really just amazing works of art. So this particular exhibit is a movie that was built using the video game The Sims. And essentially what they did was they put a single woman inside of a house that had no exits. And then she put a lot of male Sim characters on the outside of the house. But what happened was, with the male characters, because they didn't have access to food or a bathroom or a place to rest, they start to protest and literally die off. But on the inside, like, the house catches on fire and all kinds of chaos happens inside. And it's kind of this dark, humorous critique of historical association of men working in the outdoors and women working in domestic environments. Pretty brilliant. This thing runs for 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 17 seconds, and it's part of a much longer work called Free Will Mode. So these are just actually salvaged old arcade parts that were put into light boxes. This particular one's upside down and backwards. You can see the Sega logo over here. These are really cool. So this gallery also has a lot of interactive exhibits, such as this one called The Night Journey. Basically, in this particular one, it's just all about reflection, using a lot of like Buddhism and Christian mysticism, and kind of the journey that someone goes on for spiritual enlightenment. And literally, you can pick up this PlayStation controller, it's literally a PlayStation controller, and play that game. These paintings are pretty cool too. They almost look a little Andy Warhol-ish, but you've got Mortal Kombat over here. This one reminds me of a game I used to play on PlayStation called Ace Combat, and I loved that game. But it's basically a jet over some mountains over and over and over again. And then, of course, this one's called 5-Star Jump, which, again, Grand Theft Auto, you get that 5-star jump. So hard to do. So just a heads up on this exhibit that I'm about to show. There is some mild adult content, but I actually think it's quite brilliant. This guy basically wanted to show the effects of gun violence in the United States, and so what he did is he used Grand Theft Auto and put an emulator on it to show what gun violence looked like in a visual representation over the course of a year. So down here you can see that on the day of September 18th, 2019, there had already been 10,704 incidents of gun violence. There's 705, and it's going to continue to tick up. And basically in real time, sped up obviously over time, every single person that gets shot in this game represents someone who was shot in America in real life. So it's a pretty telling graphic representation of gun violence in America. The other crazy thing is in the background, it's just the soundtrack of God Bless America, which is, I mean, it just goes to continue to say that, you know, this is the America we live in. So often there's just so much gun violence. So there's also quilt work in this gallery. The one I really like is this one over here. You are in a maze of twisty little passages, and then there's all these little mazes and passages built within the quilt. The front line comes from a game called Colossal Cave Adventures. It was a text-based game, and the artist behind this just really enjoyed the game and thought that it would make a really good quilt. I think these next two are probably my favorite in the entire gallery. So in Grand Theft Auto, your avatar, the character that you play as, has a cell phone, and you can do a lot of different things. You can text message different characters in the game. You can make phone calls, but you can also take photographs. So Alan Butler, who is in Dublin, Ireland, decided what he would do is he would use his avatar's cell phone camera and go around taking different pictures of people within the game, and then overlay them onto just different canvases and things like that. These are really brilliant, and they are huge. There's another one down here. It's amazing. Really cool. These 6 photos are really cool, but there's a lot going on in them. Let's take a look at this one. Comment down below if you can find the taco. It's over here. This one's pretty amazing too. It is using a lot of traditional Mexican and Hispanic art styles, but can you tell what they are trying to portray? It's Pokemon. Bunch of Pokeballs there. This one's called Gotta Catch 'Em All. So if you've ever played Candy Crush or any of those other Match 3 type apps on your phone, you know how addictive they can be. And so this artist really saw how mesmerizing and how addictive those could be. So he created this infinite loop of just basically using the same emulators as Candy Crush or any of those other type games would be, but then created a giant one. It's pretty wild. So these images were done by an artist named Tim Portlock, and basically what he did is he would kind of go to different cities and kind of check out the abandoned areas of them, and he noticed that they looked like kind of the dystopian scenes that you see in a lot of video games. So he actually took photographs, took them back, used those images, and then did traditional video game overlays to recreate them as what they would look like in a video game. So this particular one is in Philadelphia. This one's in Las Vegas. You actually see the Luxor and the Paris Eiffel Tower there. Actually, you see the stratosphere over here too, which is pretty amazing. And then this one over here is Camden, New Jersey. So in this one, the artist has basically built one of those futuristic digital cities that you would see in a lot of games like Cyberpunk. It looks really cyberpunkish, but you can see like the CN Tower or the Eiffel Tower all throughout this, but he was just really inspired by kind of those futuristic cities. Put a lot of different company logos in here. I'm trying to see, we got EA Sports here. Pogo, who remembers Pogo? My goodness, that's a blast from the past. Used to play Pogo games on AOL all the time. Nintendo way over here. Really cool. So not only am I completely amused by this artist's name, his work is really amazing. He did this drawing with a ballpoint pen. That's some crazy detail for a ballpoint pen. Check out this yarn work. It's a Nintendo controller tied to a stick of dynamite. There's also a big joystick back here as well. So here's another playable one. This one is enormous though, and it basically is going to simulate the Red Army trying to escape the forces of the Nationalist Army in China in the mid-1930s. You can play this one on Xbox, but look how big it is. It's literally a whole room. And what it is, this avatar over here actually uses Coke cans to defeat the army. And long match, I guess it's going to restart. The symbolism behind that is that Coca-Cola was one of the first Americanized products to enter China. So they used that as the weapon. What's going on over here? I mean, this thing is massive. So here's another playable one called I Shot Andy. Duck hunt. See how we do. Probably not very good. It's been a long time since I played a game like this. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. Oh, I have to shoot only Andys. Okay, so I have to figure out who the Andys are here. That guy and that guy? No, it was that guy. Let's try one more time. Round 3. Yep, that guy. I'm not doing so hot. Ready? Go. It's Colonel Sanders. Really cool. And it's literally played on a Nintendo. This is literally called Super Mario Clouds, and that's exactly what it looks like. I love the stairwell in this place. It almost reminds me of something you'd see like in an Alfred Hitchcock movie. What is it? Is it Vertigo, I think? Where they do those long stairwell shots up that spiral staircase. It's pretty awesome, but that's exactly what this reminds me of. So back downstairs, there is a store where you can buy a lot of different things and a lot of open world merchandise. They've got a book called Open World, which has a lot of photographs from inside the exhibit. The Super Nintendo Encyclopedia of every game released for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I do love those explosion photos, and you can buy postcards of them. What else do we have in here? Magnetic blocks. These are pretty cool. Prints. Game Boy modding. Check out the Super Mario Brothers coffee mug. It's pretty awesome. Coasters. I mean, that's really awesome. A Geek's Guide to Dating. They've also got a notebook that looks like a Nintendo controller. Tetris-inspired cookie cutters. Those are only 15 bucks. Check out the Pac-Man coaster. It's awesome. So the open world exhibition at the Oklahoma Contemporary is absolutely amazing. I think even if you did not appreciate video games, you would appreciate the level of artistic work that goes into each of the pieces. It's beautiful. It's open until February 21st. And the best part of it all is it's absolutely free. You just have to make sure that you go to the website. We'll link that down below and reserve a time. They'll give you a ticket where you can go up and see it. But I absolutely love this exhibit. I've got the book of the exhibit, so I can take this with me from now to eternity. And really pretty amazing job that they did.